Do we really have a fun one for you today, you guys? Okay, you guys are going to get to see Miriam and I are going to have a talk. And really, what I actually refer to this talk is dare to be different. Because if we're talking about Transformation Thursday, you guys, we're never talking about someone else's transformation. We're always talking about how do we get our own transformation. And so we're stepping into a topic that is 100% true, that we have to be honest with ourselves on this topic if we're ever going to get breakthrough. And Miriam had posted this post. I fell in love with it. I saw so many comments already, Miriam, from people. And the post says, not everyone is a runner. Not everyone can do hours of yoga. Not everyone wants to lift weights. Not everyone wants abs. Not everyone aspires to be shredded. Not everyone wants to count calories. Not everyone wants to be a vegan, and not everyone likes the gym. And then on the other side, it says, we're all different. So stop worrying about what others will think and just find what works for you, not anyone else, just you, period. And Miriam, when I saw this, I got so excited because it is part of what I try to put even as my own mantra when I always jokingly say, you guys, I'm the turtle in my own race, right? But it is because I don't want to compete with anybody. And all those not everyone want to list, Miriam, is hilarious because we all know people that, like that first one, not everyone is a runner. A real runner would say, are you kidding me, people? You don't know what you're missing. It's the best thing on earth. Nothing beats the sweat as you're running down the highway or in a marathon, right? So every one of these topics that are on this, Miriam, you and I and all those listening right now in the 55 plus, we all know people that have said those sentences. And it's like, no, you guys just don't understand yet. You need to try it more. And if you try to run more and you don't like running more is not going to make you like it anymore, right? So we're going to step into this topic, and there is no one that I respect any more than you, Miriam, because I love your honesty and what you're thinking. So as we're stepping into this topic, and it's dare to be different, and it is part of what you and I have talked about on many levels over many conversations, but share with them some of what you know to be true of your journey, because you also have had plenty of people already leave comments on this. And I think you posted it like a day ago. So share
Okay.
your thoughts on this.
Okay. So my not, I don't want to say come out of the gate and say my problem. My my issue is I understand that I am me and everybody else is everybody else. And another one of my favorite sayings is that comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
And I was telling Pam today that, since joining the challenge, I'm walking 3 miles almost every day. Oh,
Talking about DDPY every January kicks off a deal that's called the Positively Unstoppable Challenge. So some of you in the 55 plus signed up for that. Others don't even know what that challenge is, but it's an extra way to get around some people really running hard in DDPY for the 6 months. So
right. So I started this at the beginning, well, in March, but it's sort of I was aware of it at the beginning of the year. And so I'm walking 3 miles a day and I've lost almost 20 pounds. And, I'm eating well and I'm doing all of this. And then I say, oh, but I don't like doing my DDPY workouts. Shh, don't tell anybody I said that. Um, and I'm looking at and I know that, I just have to worry about me. I don't have to look at anybody else. But, I'm looking and I'm seeing people, they're doing their PT and they're doing their workouts and they show every day and they show their heart rate and they show that they've done it and I'm just looking at this. And so what's happening is I'm looking at this thing that I'm still struggling with. It's still a struggle. Okay. and it's negating all the good stuff that's happening. And I said to Pam, I don't think I'm alone. I'm going to be 72 years old. I've not I'm not in exercise. I've never been in, never run, never did yoga, never had abs, never. I mean, you go through that list. I was none of those. Okay. And I can't take, I'm not going to say 70 years old. Maybe when I was 20, I did something. But for 50 years, I haven't done anything. I should be happy I'm walking 3 miles every day. It's just, but you tend to look at the stuff that's a struggle, and you tend to look at the stuff you're not doing. And then it looks like everybody else is doing it. But I think it's sort of like Amazon reviews. You see some positive reviews, people get, but mostly people that are complaining, who don't like something, who have a bone to pick with the product. These are the people who take the time to leave the reviews. And the reason I'm bringing this up and why I'm likening it to our group is that I think that the people who are doing well and doing those workout, you see like, oh, 2,578 day streak. You see that, or you see, with the PT, you see all of that. They're the ones that are posting. And then people like me who get up in the morning and say, oh, have to do a workout today. We're not the ones posting. All right. So it looks like everybody is doing it all because they're the ones that are really happy about where they are. And so they're posting, just like it looks like a product is horrible because the people that hate it are the ones taking the time to do it. So it's, with us, it's that they like it, and with Amazon, it's they don't like it. But you get the point that when you have something to post and something worth saying, you want to make sure you post it and say it. Who wants to post that, oh God, 3 days in a row, I can't even manage a chair workout? 5 days in a row, that Nehab helped me so much. Ugh, I don't even want to do the 15-minute one. I mean, who wants to post this? So you don't realize that there's so many people actually in that camp. And it seems like the majority are the ones that are just acing it and getting those streaks and doing it every day and loving it. And I don't know, I think if you're 50, 60, 70, and maybe 80, unless maybe you were an athlete to begin with, I don't think you come into this all gung ho, maybe the first few weeks, first few days, but I don't think that gung ho ness, is carried for so long. And if it is, God, my hat's off to you, and I want to know your secret. But I, I'm struggling. I'm not enjoying this journey, but I'm struggling with it.
Right. Well, see, you guys, see, this is why I appreciate her transparency. Miriam is as honest as the day is long. And that's what I love most about you, really, Miriam. And she's always looking for the answers, you guys. And she's 100% right. Within here, you guys are probably seeing the posts from the ones that feel like they got their rhythm already. And those that don't just aren't posting. But that doesn't mean with over 2,000 of us that we're for sure every possible combination of thoughts does exist. And it's really important that you realize Miriam's transparency. It might be for you, this might be like the farthest thing from what you want. I don't want to work out. I don't want to eat right. I don't want to even be positive with my mindset. I don't want any of those things. So that's why, and Miriam and I talk about this a lot. So don't be pushed by your problems, but in fact, you could be pulled by the dreams. And so when I'm looking at this with all of us, you guys in our 55 plus family, we're all in that stage of life, at least for Americans, that you see they go to a cane, then that cane all of a sudden needs to become a walker. The walker then all of a sudden needs to become a wheelchair and eventually bedridden. And I don't believe there's even one of us in this 55 plus, 2000 plus of us in here right now that actually want that to be our story. So, but pushing ourselves is never going to get us there. If we can think of the world, the lifestyle that we want, and we go towards it. What I don't want you guys to think that what Miriam and I are talking about here gives you a license for complacency, because that's not even what Miriam, if you heard Miriam share her successes, her weight loss, her out there walking all the time, right? So she's not looking for a license to just say, no, no, no complacency, right? But she is being honest, you guys. We have to dare to be different. We have to, I use that verbiage that I'm the turtle in my own race. It became a visual to me right out of the gate 2 years ago when I started here. It just was a visual that told me, Pam, you're going to look slower than everybody, like everybody that's out walking. You're going to be slower. And I told Miriam, I had people, we live in a 55 plus community, people sitting on their porches that literally would holler at me, hey, pick it up, lady, go a little faster. And I'm thinking, I would smile at them, but I was thinking, seriously, people, you're just sitting on your porch. At least I'm walking, right? And it was true. I was walking so much slower than everybody going past me, Miriam. But like you and I have shared, at some point I started hearing people holler at me, whoa, girl, you're doing so good. And I'm thinking, wow, people are noticing. So somewhere on our journeys, we find the victories and we celebrate the victories, but there will always be, Miriam is 100% right. There is always going to be this side of us that says, do I really want to pay that price today? Right? Do I really want to do it? And go ahead, share some more of your thoughts on that one.
So while you're, it's not so much my thoughts, but while you're talking, two things came up to me when you said going from a cane to a walker to bed. That's very abstract if you're not in the middle of it.
Yes. Oh,
Okay. So you have a lot of people, myself included. I've had a hip replacement and 2 knee replacements. So I know what it is to be on a cane and a walker. But that passed. Okay. And so the thing is that when I go walking, and I shared this with Pam, that I listen to really good books, and I never listen to books unless I'm walking. I have opportunity to, like if I'm in the cars, but I don't. The books are saved for walking. So in the morning, it's like, oh, I got to get to the next part of this book. So I'm spurred on and I want to walk, or I just increased from about 2 miles or 2.5 miles to 3.3 miles. And that's very concrete. I'm going to walk an extra block. I'm going to listen to this chapter. You know what I mean? It's very, very concrete. Whereas if I sit here saying, oh, I hope I'm not in a wheelchair someday, it sounds like a good goal, but it's sort of abstract compared to I want to listen to the next chapter of the book.
but
So maybe it's
sad,
dealing with that abstract.
yeah, but sadly, fear motivates people way more than it should. Fear stops people right at the spot that they should be moving forward. Fear will stop them and they'll sit down and like, I'm too afraid to even try, right? So
Right.
fear is a visual that's in your head. It is a thought process. It's not reality. It's a thought process that enters you like, I can't overcome this. Well, we're all proving, all of us that are actually taking action on our fitness pillars, our nutrition pillar, all of us in here that taking action are seeing some level of results, right? I honestly think we can only conquer fear with action. I really do. So it is all the action steps we take, one step at a time, we're walking further away from that fear. And those fears, even though you say those are abstract, Miriam, I have lots of people that say to me, I just don't want to be a burden to my family. I don't want them to have to take care of me. Well, that visual right there, that means they're already seeing themselves in not mobile in a bed. They're seeing themselves in a picture that's like seriously, you already are thinking that they're going to have to take care of you? You won't be able to dress yourself? These are real fears that I hear all the time in our 55 plus family. And I'm like, no, we are going to be the ones. Miriam, I believe we are a force that is growing. Now we're over 2,000 of us in here, right? I believe we're a force that because we stand together, that we are going to find a way to change the storyline that goes in on our heads, not reality, but I'm saying what's in our heads about what a senior looks like and where it's all being constant dial back. I believe we're the ones that are going to say, no, that was the story, maybe, but that's not the story any longer for us. Right?
Right. But I want to ask you something. When you talk about having a big enough why, can you have a big enough why using fear?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it's a push. You're being pushed by the problem. I'm so scared I'm being pushed. I better do this. It's not as exciting as if you're being pulled towards a dream, like the dream that, gosh, you know what, if I could get walking so much more that I could go to the zoo with my grandkids. And when the youngest one takes off for the giraffe, I can chase her all the way to the giraffe. So that's a pull dream. And they both work, but one is a lot more painful, right? If you're afraid of what's going to happen if you don't do it, you
Right.
know.
Because I think at the beginning, even walking and eating right and everything, I had such a hard time with the whys because I wasn't pushed by those fears. Oh, who wants to have be a burden to their family? Who wants to be in a wheelchair? But they were too abstract for me. And so those as my why didn't work. And I think that if people are having a hard time getting motivated, what did it for me was understanding when Pam explained the difference between a push goal and a pull goal, and the fears and all of that was a push, and it didn't work for me. But it wasn't, but once I turned it around and said, well, I could be pulled, that works. I want to walk further. I want to listen to my books. I want to have, and so the pull goal. But I'm still having a little trouble with the DDPY workouts.
Mhm.
Finding it works with the walking and it works with the nutrition. But with the workouts, I personally am still having a little bit of trouble, a lot of trouble. So trouble with my wife. I mean, I know with the workouts I'll get strong and my balance will be better and all of that'll keep me out of a wheelchair and out of a nursing home. And so I understand it's real, but it's, I don't know, I'm just having a hard time making a why for the workouts. Although you said another word that struck me, getting a rhythm. Like it took a long time. It took a long time for me to get into the rhythm of
Yes.
walking in the morning. Maybe I just haven't found the rhythm for the workout. Maybe I don't need to be beating myself up that I don't have a why, or, maybe it's just as simple as when, or something like that.
Yeah, and really, Miriam, even you talking about your audiobooks, I wasn't even thinking until you had talked about that. That is totally my story as well. When I go head out to do my triking or biking, it's like I pick, oh, this book. I'm ready to, oh, I want to study that chapter again. So it's a trick, right? It's a trick we knew we needed to have so that we kept the audiobooks on. We have to go out and do that if we want to read the rest of that book, right? So
Right, right,
you actually found a pole dream that works for tricking yourself. We're tricking ourselves in
right.
journeys, right? But because you did it so successfully now with your walking pillar, I know it's a matter of time till that habit of your fitness pillar with the DDPY workouts, because you had great your arm now will move right, all the
Right.
challenges you are seeing the results of it, right? So some things we do just because we have to, right? I never changed one dirty diaper with our kids that I can honestly say, boy, I really enjoyed that. And and I'd leave and my husband would hold 8 hours with him in the same diaper. I'm like, you never change a diaper? Well, it says it'll hold X number of pounds. I said, but that means the child's weight, right? So
Yeah.
there's so much, Miriam, of our life. If we look back over our, I'm 69 now. If we look back, all these things that we did because honestly we had to, right?
So what would you suggest to us in the group? And I'm saying us because, I'm part of the struggle bus here. What would you say to us? Just do it because it has to be done. Try it sometimes in the morning because this the rhythm is almost different than, let's say you have a Y. Let's say I have a great Y, but the rhythm, like what would you suggest to people who are struggling? Maybe the struggle is only you can't find the time of day that you enjoy doing it, and that you actually, I don't hate the workouts. It's just like, oh, it's 4 o'clock, or in the morning, it's like, oh, if I do this before my walk, I won't want to walk. And if I do it after my walk, I'm too tired. If I wait till 4, I don't want to do it. Maybe my problem is just the rhythm. So what would you suggest for finding a rhythm?
Well, I almost hate to lay this out there, but as the 55 plus group, we have there are two dynamics here. One is there's still a bunch of us that are working 8 and 12 hours a day because of their commutes to work and stuff. And then there's a whole nother segment of us that are either retired or partially retired, right? I am honestly seeing, Miriam, the ones that are working the 8 to 12 hours, they know for a fact they got to get up at 5 o'clock and they do it right at that time. It's cooler in the day too. And then they head off and do. And I asked myself, could I do it? And I don't know, Miriam, because we're not in each other's shoes, right? But all I know is there seems to be an advantage to those people that live that regiment, right? That they have to fit it in, they fit it in. All I know is so my time is freer, right? I could make excuses, but I actually every night before I go to bed, I look at my calendar for the next day. I have strategically placed where it matters to me my walking or my triking, and that always is about temperature, right? I look at what the temperature is going to be, but it's also my workout thing. So just as I brush my teeth, it's put in that spot for me, but I do evaluate it every day when I go to bed. It's like, okay, that'll work perfectly there. Then I don't ask myself the question twice. I think
I like that, to not get up in the morning and figure it out, and because the day just gets away from you. But I like that, looking at, I'm retired, but anyone who's retired knows that that doesn't really mean sitting around, especially if you have grandkids. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pick mine up from camp at 3 o'clock. But the thing is I like that, to look ahead and fit it in like any other appointment. Like if I had a dentist appointment, I wouldn't say, "Ugh, I don't feel like going today." You gotta go to that appointment. So I like that. I'm gonna try that this week and see how that works for me. And also there's a saying that if you want to get something done, give the task to a busy person. That's why the people who are working, they just, I think that's part of it also in our age group, that if we're retired, I think you lose that structure. I don't know that this would have been a problem if I was working 8 hours a day and commuting 3, which I used to.
yeah, yeah. No, I do actually see. I'm seeing a pretty
Yeah.
big divide, and it is that there's two circles going on there. But I really hope you guys today leave comments today, asking questions, comments, or whatever, because I want Miriam as well to give input into those others. She's of course in our top 10 contributors all the time. Um, and there's others as well that are constantly in here looking to help. So ask the questions, you guys. There's never going to be a bad question. I love the fact that Miriam brought this forward. This is real, Miriam. Every one of us that are honest with ourselves face what are we going to do with, we all have the same 24 hours, but we don't all use it the same. So
Right.
how are we going to use it? How are we going to move our fitness all the way down the road, whatever that looks like. But dare to be different, I guess, is the biggest thing I can say. Miriam and I live complete different lifestyles, right? But I'd go to battle with her any day because Miriam, you know how to fight, right? So within this family, you guys, let's not try to mirror one another, but rather figure out how we can get strength from understanding each other's position. I'll guarantee you a lot of people are going to relate to what you're saying and what you've taught in the past, Miriam. So I hope they keep reaching out to you because you're worthy. You're a very studious individual. I feel smarter just calling you my friend.
Oh my goodness.
You know, I told you this before. So have a fabulous Thursday, every one of you. Let's all go for our transformation, whatever that looks like to each one of us. Thank you, Miriam, so much. I love you tons. And
Thank you.
we'll see you all for Fabulous Friday, eh? Okay.